Welcome to The Unstoppable Leader. In this episode, we're going to look at how to manifest more time in your life. Who doesn't want that? But before we dive in, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel right below. And please like and comment in the chat so I can better understand how to support you. And of course, you can get notified when new episodes load each week. Thanks. So let's dive right in. Managing our time is harder today than it has ever been. Even if you slowed down in COVID, why is that? We all have experienced that feeling of having too many priorities and too little time to do them justice. Yet creating time to really grow our influence and our impact in our work and create a life that we absolutely love is vital. Nothing can choke the joy out of life faster than feeling overwhelmed or worse, burned out. I've been there. When I first started my business, I really needed somebody to help me manage my time. I found that I was going full out and not getting enough done that really mattered for growing my business. And I hired an efficiency coach, and it was probably one of the best investments that I made in my business. And I highly encourage you to look at some of the things that I learned. One of the most important things you can do is to avoid the burnout and the anxiety and that sense of not being enough. And the way to do that is to create the time and the focus that you crave. Yes, you can create it. I did, and you can too. It's actually not as hard as we might think to create more free time. Simply ask yourself a few questions. And this is a coaching secret. Questions are powerful because they focus our attention and they generate solutions. The questions actually generate the solutions. You just have to ask the right questions. So I'm going to give you 7 questions that I learned to ask myself and that will actually manifest that space that you need so much in your life. So here is question number 1. What are my 3 greatest distractions right now? The most common distractions and time wasters are truly electronic. That was the case for me. It could be your cell phone, your laptop, television, and they leave you wondering where the time went. That was the case for me. My email was open and available on my phone, on my laptop, 24/7. And so when I received an email from a client or a prospect, I was on it. But I was letting their agenda drive my time. And that wasn't working as well as you might think. So other distractions that might include things like an annoying neighbor, not that anyone would have an annoying neighbor, that has always wants to have a conversation and kind of slows you down or distracts you, even though you like them, right? Or an organization that requires too much of your time. And this is a difficult one because we want to be of service and we want to give back. But are we spending our time where we really can make the impact that we want to make in the world? Think of ways to eliminate or minimize these distractions and spend your time in a more meaningful way. One of the things I learned to do with the email was to only open it up at certain times during the day. That allowed me to both be responsive and accessible without becoming derailed. Or set aside tech-free time in your day altogether when you turn off all the tech. It's a little difficult for me to turn off all the tech, but I can turn off my emails. That's an idea for you to try. Remember, it's okay to not respond immediately, but to plan the times to respond to the demands of others. So you can close your email, turn off your phone for periods of time, and you can build in buffer time blocks. I actually block out time on my calendar so that I have space for the unexpected things that come up, because guess what? They're going to come up every single day. So plan for them and set no more than 3 priorities in the day that you will absolutely do. And that way, everything else can move down the list. What is a non-negotiable for you in that day? So here's the second question. Am I making the best use of what free time I already have available? When do you have free time? How do you use it? Sometimes we're not even thinking of it as free time. Consider the small blocks of time you have available throughout the day and the larger segments of time that you also have free. So think about things like if you're waiting for a meeting to start and you're sitting on Zoom, how do you spend that time? Are you using your time in the car productively? Now, I'm not advocating for unsafe driving, but like myself, you could use that time to brainstorm on something that's a creative project or listen to a podcast that you really enjoy. Examine all the spare time you have each day and resolve to use it more productively. But I want to take a minute and really point out that productive time also includes relaxation and recharging time. That counts as productive because the more that you allow yourself to relax and recharge, the more productive you are proven to be throughout the day. So here's question number 3. What are the 3 greatest distractions I have at work? An enthusiastically loud office mate? Well, that's mine. In my case, it's my husband. We're both, shall I say, very vibrant and energetic in our conversations. So that distraction might be neutralized just simply with headphones. You can also turn off the ringer on your phone. Think about distractions that you face, and instead of trying to power through them, pair them with possible solutions and just be willing to try something. Look, if it doesn't work, try something else. It's worth it not to feel like you just have to deal with the distraction. All right, question number 4. What are my priorities? Seriously, make a list of your priorities, both work and personal. You can't focus your time if you're unaware of what is truly a priority. You can focus your attention by reminding yourself of your priorities every day. I do that. I set intentions for my day. So if earning income is absolutely top of the list, then guess what? Your revenue generating efforts are going to come first. And if you want to distract yourself with doing something that is more enjoyable to you, then the earning of the income isn't really a priority, is it? So if family time is more important than work responsibilities, we'll take a back seat. If the two things seem to be in conflict, and I think a lot of us deal with this, then here's a subset question to ask yourself. Which one of these priorities that seem to be in conflict could actually be replaced if I failed to make it a priority? So could I replace my family? Could I replace my income if I'm choosing to not make one of those a priority? Is there a way to strike a balance, right? So we tend to think it's all or nothing. And instead, perhaps we could balance them and share priorities. All right, question number 5. What are the optional activities in my life? Make a list of everything that you do in your life that's optional, from watching TV to playing softball on the weekends. Some of those activities do absolutely, I'm just going to say it, they add to your life in meaningful ways. So optional doesn't mean not meaningful. But which of those activities are you willing to give up to create more space in your life? There is a spiritual principle that says that in order for something greater to have space, we must give up something lesser. So again, what's really important to you? And remember, you can experiment. This is not a permanent decision. You have the right to change your mind if it's not working. But if what you're doing isn't working, it's time to try something different. All right. 6th question. How can I simplify my life? How many blogs or apps or podcasts do you actually follow? Are they really worth the time? And if they're dropping into your inbox or, pinging you in your messages, is that a distraction to you? So how often do you check your email? Is it more often than necessary? Can you hire someone to, you know, do the yard work or to clean your home or do your books? Can you get rid of a few possessions that are taking up time and space in your life? So making space is very important. And then lastly, this question is, what would I do if I had more free time? Sometimes we haven't given the thought to anything except we want more free time, but it's very motivating to have something specific that's encouraging us forward. How would you spend more free time? Who would you spend it with? What kind of relationships would you nurture? If you can identify how you want to spend your free time, you might be more motivated to create it in your life. So those are the 7 questions. But most of all, I want you to really anchor in your consciousness. If you're lacking enough time to enjoy your life, it's time to get clear on your priorities and reduce distractions. I talk about distractions a lot. I've certainly dealt with them, and they are a incredibly large time waster, even if you're very effective and efficient. Where we focus our attention, we flourish, right? So it is naturally necessary that when our attention is spread too thin, everything is going to suffer. Everything, especially our own mental, emotional, and physical well being. If you are facing burnout or anxiety, and I've talked to several people lately that are really struggling with that, it is likely, highly likely, that you have a priority setting issue. Decide on what's most important and set the rest aside, even if you just do it for one day. See how that goes. The resulting space you create has an immediate impact, and the results are typically, I don't think I'm exaggerating, mind blowing, mind blowingly life altering. So thanks for being here this week, and please like and subscribe to this channel. I look forward to hearing from you.